I did it. I completed 75 hard. Yeah! I still cannot believe that I did that. I really did that, y'all. I completed the 75 hard challenge, the challenge that I told myself I would never do because it was unnecessary and that's just too much. I actually did that. And I could not be more proud. And I want to talk to you guys about it. I want to tell you all about my experience, kind of share with you some tips, of course, talk about my results and all of that. So if you've ever been interested in 75 hard, we're about to get into it. So for those who are not familiar, 75 hard is a mental toughness challenge. Contrary to popular belief, it is not a weight loss challenge, even though a lot of people frame it up that way or they use it as a means to lose weight. Like even me, I felt like I needed a push towards, just better discipline so that I could in turn lose weight, even though I knew it was a mental toughness challenge. So 75 hard consists of about 5 or 6 rules. You do 2 45-minute workouts a day, and one of them has to be outside. You drink a gallon of water a day. You follow a diet, and you get to choose whatever the diet is that you follow, but there are no cheat meals and there's absolutely no alcohol. You read 10 pages a day of a nonfiction book, and you take a progress picture every single day. So every single day for 75 days, even while I was traveling, I did this, and I still can't believe that I did it. So right now, as I'm recording this, I'm like a month from when I completed it, because I completed it at the end of June, like right before my birthday. I started April 14th and I was done June 27th. So right now it is July, like the end of July. So it has been almost a month since I have completed it, and I am just still so proud of the discipline that it took to get to this point, because it was not easy. This is why they call it 75 hard, y'all. It is a challenge, and you really got to gear up for the challenge, because if you are not in the right headspace, it's just not going to work for you, because there's just so many rules. It's just so many things that you have to do. Let's just start by talking about my experience. So for my workouts, this is what I did. I strength train 4 times a week. So I would do that on my, 4 times a week. And then the days that I wasn't strength training, my first workout would be like a cycle. Like I would cycle on my Peloton, or I would just do like a walk on the treadmill, or I might walk outside. I might do 2 walks outside. So the outdoor workout for me was always a walk. It was always a walk. Didn't matter what it was. It was always a walk outside. I'd walk for 45 minutes in the rain, while it was hot, whatever. I was walking for 45 minutes outside. And what I will say is that I missed my walks, because after I finished, I stopped walking outside for 45 minutes, and I'm getting ready to do that again, because I actually missed that. And I have noticed a decrease in my step count by not having that walk outside. So I'm actually getting ready to reintroduce those, because I really learned to enjoy it. Like just walking out in nature and just being outside. I mean, there were some really hot days, because sometimes I couldn't get it done in the morning or like later at night. So I'd have to do it like in the middle of the day. And, it is hot out here. So, but I did definitely miss those. So those were really my workouts: strength training, cycling, walking outside. And then I did start running probably like the last 30 days, like that last month. I had started a You Can Run Outdoors program, and the goal was to get you to run like 30 minutes nonstop. And I was running like 2 times a week. So that was what I did for exercise. I just kind of kept it simple, did what I knew, what I enjoyed. And I think that definitely helps, which is a tip. In terms of my diet, I decided to just track my macros, because that is what I have found that gives me the most flexibility in what I can eat. I made sure that I was focusing on being 80% clean in my diet with 20% fun. Now, this is where I deviate from a lot of people that do 75 hard, because a lot of people, I feel like they go into it and they just eat super duper clean. They take the no cheat meals super literally. They just clean up their diet 100%, which is great for the 75 days. But after that, how do you transition back to normal life? And I have done extreme things like that before, and I know that it can sometimes backfire. So I decided to do something that I would be able to keep up past the 75 days, which was to track my macros. Every single meal, I tracked it. I was like, I'm not going to miss any days of tracking my food so that I can really see how much I am inputting. I was already in a deficit, but tracking every single day definitely helped me stay in the deficit. So I tracked every single day. I ate 80% clean, more like 85% clean. And then now a rule of mine that I just kind of put in my head was like no fast food. So I cut out fast food. I probably had it maybe like 5 or 6 times during those 75 days. It wasn't like a hard rule, but the goal was to stay away from it. That was it really. So I'm, tracking my macros, whole food based, protein was high, and I was really cooking. I was cooking a lot. I was like meal planning and doing all of the things. Like, I would say that this journey showed me where I wasn't locked in, because I've been in a deficit. I've been in a deficit for a while, and I wasn't seeing the results that I thought that I should be seeing. And doing 75 hard showed me that I wasn't really in a deficit, because I was halfway tracking, or I was eating out a whole lot. And you know what I'm saying? It's just really hard. Even when you have nutritional facts for restaurants, it's really hard to just be accurate and know exactly what it is that you're putting in your body. So that was what I did for my diet. For a gallon of water, I have my trusty Stanley cup. This is a 30-ounce bottle. So I would fill this up and I would drink 4 of these. And then I would have like a glass of tea or something like that, just like those extra 8 ounces to get to 128 ounces. It wasn't difficult. I would take like 8 ounces with my creatine every day, or I'd have like a cup of tea at the end of the night. So I was getting that gallon of water. Reading 10 pages. So the reading was a little different for me. Like, the reading, I feel like, was maybe one of the harder parts for me, because I am an audiobook person. I love audiobooks. And one of the rules is, it's just to like physically read, not listen to an audiobook. So that was a little different for me. But I read 3 books, I believe. I know I read Ramit Sethi's latest book, Money for Couples. I read Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life, I believe is what it's called. And then I started reading We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. And I got through maybe 2/3 of that, or not even 2/3, probably like a half of that. And then I started reading The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. So I didn't really finish either of those. I'm kind of like in the middle of both of those. But those are the books that I read. Progress pics, I took every single day. I used the app. So there's an app, and the 75 Hard app. And every single day I took a picture. As you can see, it's all red because I have done all of the days. But every single day you can see, my progress pictures. And this was really just for me. So a lot of times I took my progress pictures in my panties and my sports bra, because that's how I take my progress pictures for my coach. So sometimes I had on shorts, but most of the times I had on like my panties and my bra. But 75 days, I took those pictures, and I really wish, like looking at other people's videos and stuff, I wish that I would have done video clips instead of still pictures, just so that I could see the movement. Like, I did video clips on day 1 and on day 75, which I will show you when I get into the results. But I wish that I would have done more video clips instead of still pictures, but I can still see the change in the pictures. And then let's see, what else? Was that it? Yeah, no alcohol and no cheat meals. And for me, like, cheat meals, because my diet was flexible, there weren't any real like cheat meals anyway. Like, I don't believe in cheat meals. I feel like you can make everything fit, in moderation, as long as you're in your deficit. And that's kind of where that 20% not clean would come in. But I wasn't like snacking on like I wasn't eating a bunch of junk and processed foods. I really, really tried to cut that out. So I just wasn't eating a bunch of like candy and sugary things and cakes and pies and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I probably had them a couple of times, but it wasn't like an everyday thing for me. And I don't look at those things as a cheat meal. I look at it as sustainably eating. So that was how I followed my diet. So let's get into the results because I'm sure that that's what you guys care about the most. I have to actually like pull it up. So in total, I lost 10 pounds, which was crazy to me because I have been trying to lose these 10 pounds for like the past year and a half, and it has been so difficult. So being able to just see that weight come off in the 75 days was so eye-opening for me because it really put things into perspective in terms of what I was doing and what I wasn't doing. Like how hard was I really working to get those pounds off? So I lost 10 pounds and I did not add up my measurements, but I definitely lost measurements. My BMI went down from like 31.7 to 30.2. My body fat percentage went from 32% to 28%. And let's see, I didn't do my calculations for my measurements, but let's see, in my bust area, I lost an inch. In my belly button, I lost an inch and a half. In my hips, I lost 2 inches. And I think I even lost inches in my biceps as well. In my right bicep, I lost a half an inch. And in my left bicep, I lost 0.75 inches in my left bicep. So like I have all my measurements. I keep all of my measurements. I have measurements from January 2012. Like I have this note in my phone where I just keep track of all of that just because I like data like that. So I definitely lost pounds. I lost inches. It was great. I felt better. I would get these, you know how the health app, it'll alert you, so I got the alert that like my weight was trending down over the last like 2 months. My weight had been trending down. My resting heart rate went down. Just all of these things, like all these health markers, like I would get alerts on my Aura app that my numbers were looking better. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Like, I definitely feel like it was worth it. Will I ever do it again? I don't know. Honestly, that's a question that I ask myself. Like, do I feel like I need to do that again? So the thing is, I'm not sure that I need to do that again, but I definitely am going to continue to challenge myself. So since ending 75 hard, I have decided that I'm going to take the rest of the year and I'm going to do 75 medium 2 times because I have 75 twice before the end of the year. Like, I don't know how many days are left by the end of the year, but I am able to do it twice. So I'm like, I'm just going to keep that up because I find that having like these healthy habits and having like a checklist of things that I'm doing every day, it's just keeping me on track. And if I want to continue to lose weight, which I do, like, and get to my goal weight, then let me just maximize the rest of the year. Let me just make it a thing. So before I did 75 hard, I did 75 medium, but I only made it to like 56 days because then I went out of town for my mom's birthday and that was all she wrote. But this time, I will say that I traveled 3 or 4 different times, some weekend trips, some work trips, and I even went to an all-inclusive resort. And I was able to keep it up because I was focused on the goal. I am a person that like once I start a challenge or once I start a thing, like I am going to do it to a T. I am not going to give up. I'm not going to miss. So that was definitely a challenge because I just didn't know what to expect. Like I am a person that likes to drink socially. I definitely like to drink when I'm at an all-inclusive resort. So I was very nervous about like how that would go. But what I will say is that since completing 75 hard, I realized that I don't need alcohol. Like I literally, like I never needed it, but it's just something shifted, and I realized the times where I would just be drinking because it was there, or I felt like that's what I needed to do. Oh, it's a girls' night, let me have a drink because the girls are drinking. Oh, I'm going on a date night with my husband, let me get a martini. Oh, I'm at an all-inclusive resort, let me have 3 drinks a day because I'm not paying for it. Just little stuff like that. But like, even socially now when I go out, I'm like, do I really feel like having a glass of alcohol? Like, do I really feel like I need it? So what I've noticed is that I'm just not as interested in drinking alcohol anymore. And I'm not going to say that this is like forever or that I'm like going on this sober journey or whatever, but now I really think about it because I have noticed how it affects me. It's like, do I want to be bloated? Do I want to see the scale go up? Do I want to have a headache? Because oftentimes when I drink wine, it gives me a headache, which sucks because I really like a good glass of Cabernet, but it gives me a headache. So I don't know. I'm just like reevaluating the things that I felt like were normal. And I really enjoy the challenge for that. Just kind of opening my eyes to why I do what I do. And do I really need the thing because it's there? Or do I not need it, and can I be okay? Like, if I can survive a whole week at an all-inclusive resort and still have fun and enjoy myself and not feel like I'm missing out by not having alcohol, like, that was just so eye-opening to me. Like, dang, I really don't need it. Like, none of us need it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just out of such of a habit. You feel like, especially when you're around people who are drinking, it's like, oh yeah, let me get a drink. But do you really want that? Like, do you really, like, could I spend those calories on something else? Absolutely. So I don't know. It was just interesting to me. And I'm in this, it's only been a month afterwards. And the problem is I hate even mentioning it because I also feel like now people are going to be looking at me like, if I do decide to have a drink, they'll be like, yep, I knew you wasn't going to last. But I'm not trying to be sober. I'm just kind of going off of vibes, like the feeling that I have right now. And right now I just don't miss it. So yeah, it is interesting, but that's a whole nother topic, just how we view alcohol and how it is socially accepted and how when you stop, it becomes like this big issue. Like, people don't understand you not drinking. Like, that's a whole nother conversation. But let's see what else. Tips. Let me get into some tips because I feel like this video is going a little long and I could ramble forever. So let me give you like my top tips for if you are planning on doing 75 hard, because it's going to take some planning. Like, this is my number one tip for you, is that you need to plan before you start. Sometimes people can just wing it and they're like, yep, I'm doing it tomorrow. Okay, and it might work for you. But just take a little bit of time and plan out what your days are going to look like. Because to get through all of these things, you cannot just wing it. Like, you literally have to plan. So what I do now and what I have been doing since 75 hard is I get up in the morning and I drink a full one of these. It is the first thing that I do before I work out, before I have any coffee. I'm drinking 30 ounces of water because I found that if I didn't get started on my gallon early enough in the day, I was drinking well into the night, right before I go to sleep. And then I'm waking up in the middle of the night having to go to the restroom. So first tip is to plan. Plan out your days, and then part of that is starting to have your water early in the day. Just to get through a gallon, like, that's a whole lot of ounces of water. So it's like you might as well just get started as soon as you wake up so that you can have some time before you go to bed where you're not chugging down water and waking up going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So also that goes with planning. You're planning your water intake. You're planning your meals. You cannot be out here winging it with your meal plan. Like, what is it going to be? Write it down. Plan it out. If you're not a person who likes to cook and prep your meal ahead of time, at least prep like good ingredients. So have yourself, like a good protein that you can pull from, a good source of carbs that you can pull from, some veggies, like cut up some fruit slices. Have things readily available that you can grab that aren't going to like throw you off track. So I started buying these edamame beans. I'm actually eating a pack right now, but this is like 11 grams of protein in this little bag right here. So I started buying those just to take with me so that I could have good protein rich snacks and I wouldn't be tempted to snack on some candy or, you know, just buy random stuff. So whether it's edamame beans or if it's protein shakes or, you know what I'm saying, if you want to steer clear from those types of processed things, like cutting you up some vegetables and taking those with you in a Ziploc bag, or having like little yogurt that you can take with you, or jerky, stuff like that, is just helpful to have if you are away from home and you can't get to home. Instead of like stopping at the fast food joint, you have something that's clean that you can eat, that's whole foods, that's not processed a whole lot, that's going to keep you on track. So definitely plan out what you're going to eat. Make sure you grocery shop and prioritize protein, because what a lot of people don't realize is that protein is the cheat code. Because protein will keep you satiated a lot longer than these empty carbs that we tend to reach for. So if you are eating a diet that is high in protein, you are going to be fuller a lot longer. Couple that with all the water that you're drinking, like that's half the battle right there, literally. So cleaning up your diet definitely helps. Choose a realistic diet also. All these tips are kind of running together, but like in the diet, think about how you're going to maintain that eating past the 75 days. It's great to go cold turkey, 100% clean for 75 days, or, oh, I'm going to do the keto diet for 75 days, or, oh, I'm going to have low carb for 75 days. But what happens after the 75 days? So you really want to think about that. You really want to be mindful of, can you sustain this diet once 75 hard is over? So that's why I took the flexible route that I took. But you just want to be realistic with it. Oh, another tip is to do what you enjoy for your workouts. This is the time to really like try a bunch of different things. You know, if you don't typically have like a workout routine or exercise routine already, you can totally use this time to try, okay, am I going to do walking, or am I going to try a running program, or am I going to do yoga or Pilates or strength training or cycling? Like, am I going to play pickleball? There are so many things. And since you have to do 2 of these workouts a day, you have all the time in the world to find something new. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have had a Peloton bike for years, and I could probably count how many rides I had done. It was like less than 20 rides. So I started incorporating riding on the Peloton like twice a week, and I really enjoyed it. I was like, you know what? I have not been using this Peloton. It has been collecting dust, but I actually really enjoyed it. So I found something new that I liked. I learned that I really like walking outside. I like taking my dog with me, and me and Lincoln, we go out and we have a nice little walk. So find what you enjoy and just keep doing that. Like, these 45-minute workouts don't have to be 2 45-minute CrossFit workouts where you are going balls to the wall. Like, it is totally okay for it to be a walk. 45 minutes of a walk is plenty. And also on some days, I would do my 45-minute walk outside, but I might do 20-minute walk on the treadmill, and then for 25 minutes, I would do a full body stretch. So some of my workouts were more flexibility workouts where I was doing full body stretches, because rest is definitely important. Stretching your body and your limbs is important too. So you don't want to lose sight of that. But find what you enjoy and just keep it on repeat. My next tip is to track everything. Get you some type of a habit tracker. I use the 75 Hard app. It is not free. You have to pay for the subscription. I don't remember how much the subscription was, but I bought that because I needed something that was going to keep me like accountable. Something that I knew I could check off every single day and I could visually see my progress. That's why I use the app. If you don't want to use the 75 Hard app, you can use, there's another app that I have called Awesome Habits. And I have shown you this if you've seen any videos where I talked about my 75 medium journey, where you can actually create your own habits. You can write them all in there, and every single day you can check them off. It's just a nice visual to have, like something that you can really look at and see the progress that you're making. Maybe you want to do a sticky wall. Y'all, I did a whole sticky wall. I had 75 days on, sticky notes on my wall. And that didn't work for me because at the end of 75 days, they were all up on my wall still. I never took them off. Like day by day, I thought I was going to enjoy like pulling off the sticky note. That didn't work for me. So find what works for you in that accountability. Maybe you like to handwrite it in a journal, like maybe you have a habit tracker, but you need some kind of a way to make sure that you are checking off and doing each of these rules every day, because sometimes you can kind of forget or be like, oh, did I do that? Or how many ounces of water did I have? So you definitely want to track everything. Oh, another tip that I have is if you can, try and do one workout as early as possible. So after you have your 30 ounces of water or however many ounces of water you want to start your day with, if you can go right into your workout, do it. Because that way you get one out of the way, you only have to worry about the other one. So most times I would do my strength training or my cycling or whatever earlier in the day, and then later in the evening I would do my walk outside, my outdoor walk. Or some days it would just be really, really hot that I would start with my outdoor walk and then I would do my strength training later on in the day. So just getting one of those workouts in earlier in the day is really going to save you, just like getting your water in earlier in the day. Pay attention to the non-scale victories, because had I looked at, oh, I only lost 10 pounds, I could have easily allowed myself to get discouraged, because when you watch some of these videos, some people are losing like 20 and 30 pounds in these 75 days. And I feel like those are the people that also go very extreme with their diet and their workouts. So I felt like, dang, I only lost 10 pounds. I feel like most people would be losing at least 15, but I also lost a good amount of inches and my body fat percentage went down, and I was wearing clothes that were tight at the beginning of the year. They were loose and like baggy on me. I put on a pair of jeans that were so tight at the beginning of this year, and they literally, like, I had to wear a belt on like the last hole for them to fit. So always make sure you're looking at the non-scale victories too. And this is what I also like about taking that progress picture every day, because sometimes when you're like, we see ourselves every day, so we don't always see the progress. But when you can look at like photo evidence and you can see your results, best feeling ever. So make sure you're looking at non-scale victories. It's not always about the scale. The scale is not always a good indicator of your progress. So make sure you have other ways to measure that. And then honestly, my last tip is to remember that discipline is better than motivation. Motivation is so fleeting. You are not going to be motivated to do these 75 hard. You're not going to be motivated all of those 75 days. And this is where your discipline kicks in. And that's what takes over, because if you're disciplined, you're going to make sure you get these things done. You're going to check all the things off the boxes, and you're going to go to the next day. But motivation is fleeting. You're just not going to feel like it. Some days you're just not going to feel like doing one workout, let alone two. Some days you just are going to want to have some juice instead of water. Like some days are just not going to be fun. Like you're going to want a candy bar instead of some yogurt or whatever. So you have to remind yourself that this is a mental toughness challenge. Mind over matter. You can always do it. 10 times out of 10, we can always do it. But what is the thing that stops us? It's our mind that stops us from thinking that we can do it. Oh, I just don't feel good. Or, I started my cycle. Or, there's always going to be something. And this is a bonus tip. There's no perfect time to do this either, literally. I mean, unless you have like a wedding coming up and you're like, I'm absolutely not about to be doing this on my wedding, or, but I feel like there's always going to be something. Somebody's always going to have a birthday event, or the girls are always going to want to go out and have drinks, or there's always going to be a kid birthday party, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to pick your time wisely. Like, I don't know that I would do this during the holidays, because that, you know what I'm saying? That's That's dedication right there. But also, like, even in the summertime, you want to sit outside and you want to, you want to be outside. You want to go sit on a patio or some restaurant with a nice little cute drink and have some food and hang out with your girlfriends. So there's not always going to be the perfect time to do it. But I think once you get in your mind the goal, like what is the goal that you want to achieve from this, and you keep that like in the forefront of your mind, you can make it work. Like, obviously, I didn't think that I would want to do this while going to an all-inclusive resort, but it just happened that way. And I knew that was coming up, but I also knew that it was coming up like well into my 75 days. So I think by the time we went, I was on like day like 45 or 50 or something like that. And I was like, I've made it this far. I'm not about to give up now. You hear what I'm saying? So just be mindful of that. There isn't like the perfect time, but also there's always going to be something going on. So can you keep your commitment to yourself or not? That's really what it boils down to. Like, at the end of the day, are you committed enough to keep your promises to yourself, or are you not? So that was also just eye-opening for me. Like, when I say I'm going to do something and I really commit to it, I get it done. I can do that. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. I feel like this was a very long video, but I just wanted to make sure I covered all areas and all things. And, I wish that I would have made this video right after I finished, because I don't know, I just feel like I'm missing some things. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'm going to do 75 medium. Like, I have started doing that, and I'm keeping with it. So if you guys want to join me on that, let's do it. If you guys want to join me in doing 75 while I'm doing 75 medium and you want to do 75 hard, do it. I am here to tell you that it is possible. I mean, it is hard, but it is possible. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.